Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here at a special filming spot location because we have something pretty epic for you. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Rolls-Royce Spectre. This is the all-new Spectre Black Badge. But before we get into the most powerful Rolls-Royce ever produced, let's talk about what's going on here. So Rolls-Royce is no stranger, of course, to top fine craftsmanship luxury vehicles. We've brought you the Cullinan, the Ghost. Obviously, we can't forget about this new Spectre. This is the first ever electrified Rolls-Royce, but it's also the most powerful production Rolls-Royce they ever made. Now, what's fascinating is Rolls-Royce, the brand, goes all the way back to 1904. And the first vehicle that they came out with was a vehicle that had 10 horsepower. Revolutionary at the time, but I think you might discover that what this Spectre brings, especially this Black Badge, is pretty revolutionary for Rolls-Royce as well. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for the king of them all, the top dog in the luxury electrified segment, is this Spectre Black Badge the way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, champagne wishes and caviar dreams. There is nothing that captures people's attention like a Rolls-Royce, and the Spectre magnifies that even more. Now you're gonna notice a special custom color called Monte Verde. Depending on how much light you see is going to allow you to kind of perceive this color as gray, or with the sun shining you could see the metal pearlescent green flake. That's where the Verde comes into play. Really a special color on a special car. Now at the front of the business, very interesting way that they've done the LED headlights and your LED daytime running lamps and turn signals. This kind of shows the connection to BMW. Remember, BMW makes an i7 full-size luxury sedan that's electrified, and BMW does own Rolls-Royce, and this looks like a piece that came off of that BMW, especially the way that they styled it. Other than that though, look at the crisp, elegant lines. Obviously down below we have some gloss black. I love on the Black Badge how everything, all the chrome that's normally shiny on a Rolls-Royce is all blacked out, that blacked out chrome. And then you do have a splitter that runs along the bottom, because remember, even though this is a large vehicle, we still got to try to cut down on drag as much as possible to help with the overall range. But let me know what you think about the corners so far of this Spectre. Now, as we come across the classic Rolls-Royce grille, you have that iconic badge, the double R. It's not Rady's Rides, it's Rolls-Royce. Forward-facing camera, love the way they did the dark chrome on the grille up top. It does illuminate at night. And then working your way down, you'll see the lower grille opening within the gloss black is fully functional. That's going to allow cool air for that lithium-ion battery pack. This does have that amazing radar technology that can read the road way out in front of you and then adjust the suspension for manhole covers, for potholes, for any imperfections in the road. It reads that and allows the suspension to be tuned so you don't feel it inside the cabin. But I have to be honest, normally I'm not a big, huge fan of Rolls-Royce styling, but on this Spectre, take away the fact that it's electrified, but just from styling, they really nailed it on the front end of this one. Now, as we rise up, there she is in all her glory, especially on the Black Badge. That's that blacked out spirit of ecstasy. And then with the way that they had to kind of tweak the grille area and shape that hood, it gives it a nice overall sleek appearance, even with that massive hood. I mean, this is like an aircraft carrier. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted so badly for Christmas the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. That was like the main thing in the Sears wish book. I guess I wasn't good enough to get one, but you could have your aircraft carrier size hood on this Rolls-Royce. Now, as we come around the bend, get ready for some massive size wheels. 23-inch optional wheel. Love the way how it has that Rolls-Royce center cover, and the Rolls-Royce stays level all the way around. You're gonna notice those ginormous bright red calipers. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tire wrapped around these wheels? 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall. It's interesting because I feel like if this wheel was on a different car, I wouldn't like it. But on this Rolls-Royce, I don't know, it kind of adds a little extra sportiness to it with the machined aluminum, the gloss black, all the lug nuts are covered up with that nice center cover. I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show you our adaptive air ride suspension, some of the best suspension technology in the world. And of course, everything is painted that beautiful Monteverde color. It was interesting because when I first saw the car, the sun was going down and I thought it was just gray. And I was like, why is Verde in the name? I don't see any green, but you definitely see it in the sun. But let me know what you think about the wheels with our particular color. Now coming down the side, you gotta have your side marker light with that Rolls-Royce badge. We have the suicide doors, so door handle up front. Like the way they kind of made some aero out of it, so it wasn't just like a single door handle hanging out. We have our 360-degree cameras. There's that Monteverde color. The way that they laser seam all the coach work gives it that rock solid. It's like you're in a Wells Fargo safe driving down the road. That's the solid feel. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off right away. We're gonna open up the suicide door. What you're gonna be greeted to is that bright pink interior. This is definitely ready for the strip. Not that kind of strip. The strip down in Miami Beach where this car was delivered to. But you can see how it welcomes you. We'll go ahead and close the door. Look at that, nice soft seal. On the bottom, you'll notice the gloss black. I love the way they work the design to help with the airflow towards the rear. This being a two-door car is also mind-blowing because of the sheer size. You got a nice, ginormous rear quarter window because we're gonna get in those back seats. You got some really usable back seats. Look at the way, I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and show you the rain guard that's actually built. Steven's gonna zoom into that trim and show you how it's not actually flush against the body. That's so the water kind of drips down. And then let's take a look at the rear wheels and tires. You do have rear wheel steer. Love the way all the Rolls-Royce badges stay nice and level. Of course, 23-inch wheels all the way around with those Pirelli P0s. Tires out back are 295 on the width. You got an electric motor driving the rear wheels, an electric motor driving the front wheels. That's gonna give us all-wheel drive. But the color, just, I don't know, it just does something to me. Now here's where you're gonna find your charge port door. You could open that up just like that. Click it or tick it. That's how you wear your seatbelt. Spinning around the back, look at it. Look at how there's no seams, there's no body line. It's like all one piece of just beautifulness. The LED lighting, nicely styled. And then when we get to the trunk, I just love the way that it comes off the glass into that lid and then just drips off. No kick up, none of that. The Rolls-Royce badge, looking good, and then dropping it all the way down to ground level, you have just a very, very clean lower bumper area with the gloss black and our Monteverde color. But why don't we go ahead, here's the big question. Let's pop that big old aircraft carrier style hood and see what the heck is underneath it. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts, that big aircraft carrier size hood. Let me show you where the Spirit of Ecstasy sleeps when she disappears and then obviously reappears whenever you want her to be shown. Interesting, I'm glad they didn't just do plastic. You have this nice aluminum finish. Look at that Rolls-Royce badge. The Black Badge Spectre, built in jolly old Goodwood, England. And underneath that aluminum finish, what do we got going on? You have two electric motors, one up front, one out back. Because this is a black badge, you actually get more horsepower. So your standard Spectre gives you 577 horsepower. This black badge has 659 horsepower, 793 pound-feet of torque. It is all connected to a lithium-ion battery pack, a 120 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack. The black badge does 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, is governed to 155 miles per hour. Range is around 251 miles. That equates to MPGEs of 67 in the city, 74 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 6,455 pounds. On a DC fast charger, you could go from 10% to 80% in just 34 minutes. This vehicle also does have 2 extra drive modes called Infinity and Spirited. So nice to have some differences to separate it from the Ghost, separate it from the Cullinan, all the rest of the Rolls-Royce vehicles. But why don't we go ahead? Very interesting that this is the most powerful production Rolls-Royce. Why don't we turn it on and see it zoom off? All right, guys. My question to you is pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? We're sitting inside this 2025 Rolls-Royce Spectre Black Badge. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I just won the lotto. I'm ready for my first Rolls-Royce, and I'm really digging this one. How much is it? MSRP starting is $397,000. This particular one, the way that it's spec'd, has an MSRP of around $565,000. But let's see what you get spoiled with when you go Rolls-Royce. To the door panels, suicide style. That's peony pink. That's an optional color with the aluminum speaker grille covers. There is gloss black around the switchgear that I'm gonna have to zonk because it is gonna make a lot of fingerprints. But then you'll notice on the door you do have your memory seat settings for the passenger seat and a new starlight feature that's actually LED lighting in the actual leather of the door panel. So all of that is leather from top to bottom. And the great news is you have the LED lighting. Now going from the suicide door to the dash, nice large opening. Love the way they did the carbon fiber special design weave. My zonk is, why is there all this gloss black in a Rolls-Royce? That should be some other kind of material. But look at the two-tone, the pink with the black and the stitching really pops on the interior for sure. Slide on in, you're gonna get that 12.3-inch infotainment system. Obviously very intuitive, all updated, nice, smooth functionality to it. You can go into your different apps. You could raise and lower the Spirit of Ecstasy. You have your massage settings for both driver and passenger, of course. And then on top of that, you have things like your personal assistant. You could go into your climate control. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. The displays, make all your adjustments. Everything very easy to figure. We could even go into live vehicle settings. So they got you covered from every different angle in this. Let me throw it into reverse. Backup camera, very clear, but very small. So I wish that it took up a little bit more of the screen, but the resolution is super, super clear. Put it back in the park. Of course, we have our traditional column shifter. When it comes to a Rolls-Royce, you always have the column shifter. More of that carbon fiber. This big thing is your volume knob. It's where you lock your doors. Love the way they shape the AC vents. Those push-pull controls. Really, really nice to figure out. And then working our way down, you have your piano keys for your radio settings. And then the AC controls, just like always. Physical knobs, soft, medium, high, max. And it's got lots of different adjustments. This is how you adjust your temperature, just by sliding that. Heated seats, ventilated seats, and heated steering wheel. More carbon fiber. Open this door. 2 cup holders. Close it back up. You got your direct drive control knob with the Spirit of Ecstasy on there. And then you have more carbon fiber. These are the switches to close the doors, so you don't actually pull your door closed. It's all power. Slide this open. You got some felt lining, because that's where you could keep your very special key fob, Rolls-Royce key fob with the same color, the pink leather on the key fob. And then that just closes up nicely. There's more of that black. Open it up, you got 2 USB-Cs, wireless charging, and a place where you could put your 4 Rolex presidentials in here, no problem. Close it on up, the seats, the leather, look at the Rolls-Royce embroidery, all the stitching, all this is hand done with the piping, two-tone. On the side, you got all your switch gear. You even have chrome on the actual tracks for the seats. And then this carpet that's like a freaking teddy bear. Unbelievable. And then we can't forget one of the things that really blows people's minds is the shooting star headliner with all the LED lighting in the leather headliner. Very, very special. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Spectre. All right, guys, crazy what it feels like to be sitting behind the wheel with a suicide opening door and all this room. Love the badge. Look at this. Rolls-Royce Goodwood with your serial number there. And then, of course, the Spectre sill badge illuminates LED at night, that nice chrome. The pedal box is a little sad for a Rolls-Royce. You have some aluminum on the throttle, but regular rubber on the brake and plastic on the dead pedal. That's a zonk. But you do get the chrome seat rails and the chrome on your seat controls. Love the piping. They feel so supportive and comfortable. It's unbelievable. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom in here. And then, of course, you got your steering wheel. Now, this is an optional extra thick steering wheel with the carbon fiber. You have your leather on your horn button with the Rolls-Royce badge. It is a power tilting and telescoping wheel. This is where you power on. It's funny how it still says engine here because there is no engine, but that's where you power on your Spectre, and I love the carbon fiber. And then you got that large digital gauge cluster there, which looks spectacular with all the readouts, all the information that you need. And plus, on top of that, you have a head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, we're gonna get in the back seat of this Spectre and see if your passengers are gonna be wrapped in comfort and luxury. All right, guys, I don't know many two-door cars where you could get in the back seat and feel like this. I mean, it's pretty freaking phenomenal, the amount of space. You do get the Starlight extra lighting on the leather, just like the people up front, and you have a heck of a command center. We got our AC vents with the carbon fiber, same type of rotary knob to adjust your blower fan. Here's the crazy thing is that you have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. How is that even possible? It's almost $600,000 car. No, there's just no way. You got, yeah, just heated seats. That to me is a zonk. What is going on in this world? Open this up. We got our 2 chrome cup holders. Close it up. You got your carbon fiber. And then just like up front, you got your felt lining. USB-Cs. This is where you could put your iPhone 48 Platinum Edition encrusted with diamonds and ruby chips. And then the seats. If you're wondering what is this infinity badge, this is the black badge, which they use the infinity symbol. And then you have the two-tone, great material. I mean, they put all these other luxury brands to shame. I mean, when you think, oh, I'm in a Bentley, oh, I'm in an Audi, oh, I'm in a BMW. Once you get in a Rolls-Royce, you see how luxury is done. But it's that time. We're going to get in the trunk, and then we're going to go for a spin in the Spectre. All right, guys, time to open up the trunk, push the button. Of course, you're going to have electric release. Not the largest trunk, but this car isn't about hauling a bunch of stuff with you. It's about having a couple carry-on bags worth of luggage. But underneath, this is where you could put your bars of gold. Stack them up, maybe have some platinum or silver, and that's where you can hide it. Also, you're gonna get the hardcover book on the history of Rolls-Royce. This is perfect reading material for when you're done counting your money. You could read the history on Rolls-Royce. But you know what? I know the history. I also know what Rolls-Royce is all about when it comes to a driving experience. But why don't we go ahead, let's hop in the Spectre and see how it stacks up.
All right, guys, welcome to the lap of luxury. We're in this Rolls-Royce Spectre Black Badge for 2025. You're gonna hit the button on the wheel where that infinity black badge symbol is, and that's gonna automatically put you in that spirited mode. So if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So quiet. Shh. We're in a library. Of course you're gonna get the torque. You're gonna get all of that instant oomph off the line because it is an electric vehicle, but it's just, I don't think I've been in any other EV that is as quiet on the inside as this one. And remember, it all comes down to that great coach work by Rolls-Royce. It comes down to all the sound deadening material, the thickness of the glass. All those things really creates a unique driving experience. And even though, like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of EVs, it's just interesting to see a brand like Rolls-Royce take a stab at their first ever fully electrified vehicle. Styling wise, I've already told you how I feel. I think they hit the nail perfectly on the head. When it comes to driving, it has that Rolls-Royce elevated driving experience. The way the adaptive air ride suspension really nestles you perfectly. And it's not like you're sitting on a beanbag chair or a waterbed. That's one thing I used to hate when I was younger, is if my friends had a waterbed, it's like you didn't even want to sit on it because it was just a pain in the butt because it had no support. This has the comfort, has the support. You got the massage seats, and then plenty of room for two people in the back. But very, very smooth. Let's see how she handles. On the brakes, you do of course have your regen braking. Look at this, wow. Crazy to think that this over 6,000 pound vehicle handles so well. And remember, a lot of that has to do with it being an EV. You're lowering that center of gravity. Of course, we have the Pirelli P0 tires. You got those beefed up brakes, but it's just nuts how this car handles. I think it actually handles better than a regular ICE two-door Rolls-Royce, like a Ghost. Looking out over that aircraft carrier size hood, seeing the Spirit of Ecstasy, it just has so much strength behind a symbol. And there's just no denying it in this Rolls-Royce. Now, the pink interior, I could kind of do without, but I get it. They spec this one really Miami Beach style because that's where the car was delivered to, was Miami Beach. So they wanted to make sure somewhere, whether it's the outside or the inside, you're getting the Miami Beach experience. But it's just so elegant, it's so classy, and it really is aesthetically my favorite Rolls-Royce to date. And I'm not really a big Rolls-Royce guy, but this just, it shows you how the 1%ers get things done. I mean, this is just really phenomenal. The rear wheel steer turns on a dime, easy to park. Love the seating position and just all those extra special touches that you only find in a Rolls-Royce. And then of course the handling. It's like, what? You're in a Rolls-Royce and you're able to get around some corners pretty darn good. That to me is really where it shows the work that Rolls-Royce has done. But I'm gonna shut up for a second because it's just so quiet in here. I'm gonna make a quick U-turn and just show you how good a U-turn is in here. Watch this, look at this. Perfectly done. I mean, you can't get it any better than that. I'm gonna wait for the cars to go by. back it up a little bit just because of the turning radius, and then, like I said, just really, really smooth. Very, very impressed with what they've done with this vehicle. But I hope that I was able to fulfill your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. We're gonna get back to where it all started. So I will see you in a nanosecond.
Hi guys, like I said, champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Nothing like featuring the lifestyles of the rich and famous here on Raiders Rise. Definitely got to thank Jerry and the rest of the team over at Rolls-Royce for giving us access to this press fleet vehicle. Now it's your turn to let me know what you think. Is this the king of all luxury cars? I mean, hands down. Does it just destroy the competition? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiders Rise family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He was all over this like a fly on a pile of you-know-what. So thank you, Stephen, for putting in the hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.